It's Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Wait, get in the building.
Yo. I haven't recovered from Tuesday.
Really?
Yes, had fun. It looked like a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
We had fun. I'm tired. I'm still
Why
tired.
is such a bad influence?
Right.
She kept telling me to wait and wait. I should don't worry. I'm young. I can still party. What is it? Yeah, I said I have to go on the show tomorrow morning. I let that pass me at midnight.
10 years ago, when we first started the show, I would go to Shrine and come the next day.
To work.
After going to work, getting home 2 o'clock in the morning, I would still... But now, because old age, I must package myself.
I knew that there was Democracy Day, and I needed to look serious. I can't come for a Democracy Day looking half
Hungover.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to Sunday. Happy. Sunday is my brother's birthday, so we're having father and son.
Sunday is Salah, yeah, fantastic. People will definitely come over. It's going to be a full house.
Sunday jump, yeah. You will be doing Salah, you will be able to come.
Is the father and son thing?
Yeah, father and son, because 1962, he was born in 1962, and he's going to be 62.
Okay.
So
we can come to, we'll see that same place you gave us, that place.
you get that place.
Oh, there was a place?
It was a nice VIP spot that YK prepared. No, I can know that Pampa take care of people. I felt very VIP. How you doing, Nima Akashat Zibiri?
I'm fine. Today is my senior from school, who is now a judge. My Lord Justice, from Shopokano. Today's his birthday.
Nice.
And so from Madame Ibukun and the children and myself, happy birthday, my Lord Justice.
My Lord.
You cannot be using names to call our...
Well, you can still call your friends by their names.
No, that's in private. When I address him on TV, he's my Lord Justice.
Ha.
So, happy birthday, sir. Many, many beautiful years. I think the wise message was God will continue to bless you and you get to the peak. So we're looking at you at the bench on the Supreme Court bench.
Anyway, the deputy governor's wife sends her greetings to all the ladies and to you also.
Especially.
Yeah, but everybody said, she just wanted to greet you guys. She loves everybody. She mentioned all our names, talked about how she followed you, what she likes about everybody. Oh, she loves every single person on this show. And she's so excited, and she just, she was going on and on. I saw her yesterday at Tuka Benson's birthday. It was her birthday. She had a house party. So
she didn't invite me.
I saw the bunch there today, back to back.
Yeah. Honorable didn't invite me. Let me send you a text.
Don't worry.
Anyway, Mariam, how are you doing, Jai? Let me know, let you.
I'm doing okay. I'm just wearing one of my sister's design.
She made that?
Yes, bottom box. Wow. So these are new shirts that she's brought out, and sustainable fashion. So it's natural fabrics. Yes. So yeah, they'll be rolling out.
I didn't even know your sister makes clothes.
Bottom box.
Bottom box is the name of her brand.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know your sister made clothes. I'm hearing it for the first time.
Yeah. The dress she wore to Formula and Sofiti premiere. That lady just, revamped everything. But this one, they asked her, and then she did not know.
I forgot.
Oh, that's fantastic. So happy birthday again to Honorable Toke.
I'm sending her a text as you are talking.
Please, CC me.
She had a party yesterday. I mean, again, lots of food, friends. It was just fun to have. The band was there, being the band. Like, wait, I can't even sing the band 2 days back to back. I think I'm in the band league now. Yeah. And in the band.
And you don't become celebrity.
Sorry. But it was really fun and interesting. Yeah, so it's Thursday, our gisting day. Yes. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Full honors for heroes of struggle on Democracy Day. LNG, Venture Global criticizes Shell, puts LNG in perspective. I think that's really the only 2 stories. Aside from the stories inside the papers. Okay, let's go ahead. Who has a major headline?
Okay, I can't find it immediately.
Okay, let me read mine then. So Mrs. Tino Abiola is the widow of Chief MK Abiola. And yesterday, while she was responding to questions from reporters at the commemoration of our 25 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria and July, the day that we celebrated Democracy Day, she said that she's happy because, of what we're celebrating, what the day commemorates. But then she also said that, she was charging the National Assembly that they should enact a law to make it, to prohibit military intervention in Nigerian politics. She says, that look at Burkina Faso, Niger, Guinea-Bissau, and all these countries, look at what's happening there. Yes, even though we have done well so far, this is still something that could likely happen because we don't have a law that would prohibit it. But she also commended the military for not interfering in these many years of our democracy. And then she hopes that the National Assembly would do this, as an addition to what we're celebrating, or what we're celebrating yesterday.
Okay. Go ahead. I took the story of inside of the family of the founder of the Odua People's Congress, Dr. Frederick Fashion, protested his omission in the list of the heroes contained in the president's speech yesterday. They said he helped the president, and many of them leave the country, and he was arrested and detained for many, many months. So they felt slighted. His detention led to the impairment of his sight. And so they felt really bad that he wasn't. And also, Mossop were protesting that Ken Saro-Wiwa too was not mentioned because apparently, according to them, he fought, it was his sacrifice. He paid the ultimate price for this June 12. So,
you want to start talking about whose names are not there? We have plenty of names that were not there.
But let's just talk about the ones he mentioned. So full honors were given to heroes of the struggle for democracy, and it was our 25th year of it. And the president had a full event where he had dinner with them, and he mentioned names of those. He said he honored those who were pro-democracy democracy activists who kept the fire burning while their compatriots back home also kept the fire burning. He mentioned some names: Chief Anthony Enahoro, Chief Abraham Adesonya, Commodore Dan Suleiman, Chief Arthur Nwako, Chief Chukwuemeka Ezefe, Admiral Ndubisi Kano, Chief Frank Kokori, Chief Bola Ige, Chief Adekule Ajasin, Chief Ganiu Daudu, Chief Ayo Fasomi, Chief Gani Fawemi, Chief Olabi Durojaye, Dr. Bekora Somkuti, Chima Ubani, and others. And then he went on to particularly recognize the sacrifices of General Alani Akinrinade, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, Professor Wole Soyinka, Chief Ralph Obeoha, Chief Cornelius Adebayo, and he said that for at least 6 years, they bore the pains and difficulties of life in exile, while we had a place to call it home today. He said while they were on exile, pro-democracy activists at home kept the fire burning, and they sustained the pressure on the military that brought democracy to bear. And also, he talked about some...
Did you mention your father?
No, I want to use my own platform to also tell my own. I don't have to finish. So I use my own to vent.
Dr. Isaac Bakoba, Femi Falana, Abdul Oro, Senator Shehu Sani, Chief Uba Sani, Chief Olufalaye, and all the NADECO members, such as Chief Ayadebanjo and I.
So because I have this platform, I will use my platform to say that my father, Alawa Kabashorun, was not mentioned because before the Nifa Emis and the Femi Falas got into the picture, these were people that were on exile. These are people who fought Babangida to the standstill during that time. So my father wasn't mentioned, but it's okay. I'm not angry. But now that we are all talking about whose name was not mentioned, my father's name was also missing from the list of those who actually fought for Nigeria's democracy, and he deserved some kind of recognition, but unfortunately he died. So hey, I said Ikuba and Koje, but it's all good. Moving on now to the Punch. Minimum wage. Federal government warns of mass sacking as labor disowns agreement. Sexual harassment. Head of service suspects PermSec orders probe. Ondo man nabbed with 8 skulled human parts. Motorists groan as Ogunram Market causes gridlock in Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. FG World Bank begins talks on 90,000-kilometer fiber optic cable project. Hashtag end hunger protesters seek end to economic hardship. Governors demand refund from $10 billion NIPP investments. And FG threatens to punish schools shunning safety guidelines. Okay, which story are we starting with?
So the sexual harassment story at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs against the Permanent Secretary.
That's such an interesting story.
Very interesting.
Ambassador Ibrahim Lamowa has been suspended by the Office of the Head of Service, by the Head of Service herself, Folashade Emieson, and the Permanent Sec is suspended pending the outcome of a probe into that allegation against him by female staff members of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs who have different accounts of how they've been sexually abused by him or assaulted by him. And one of them had petitioned through her lawyer, Femi Falana, Simisola Ajayi. She had accused him directly and gave vivid explanation of how he was sexually harassed. I've been on the story, but I'm grateful that, the services should have stepped aside anyway since.
I saw one headline where he was saying something that she was out to get him. I'm really looking forward to this
Not
story.
Alone, all the women.
Anyways, I have the story here. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Bodun Tijani, on Tuesday had disclosed, government's plan for, sorry, let me say it from here. So, first of all, the federal government had approved a special purpose vehicle to support the delivery of an additional 90,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable, and it has begun talks with World Bank. So our minister had been in talks with World Bank just before they went for what they call Nigerian Week in Washington. He engaged representatives of the World Bank in a virtual meeting last week to discuss priority areas on digital trade for Nigeria, preliminary findings, and insights from the digital trade policy gap analysis. He also talked about this project. He says Nigeria's fiber optic cable capacity, they're moving from 35 kilometers to 125,000 kilometers to make it the third largest after South Africa and Egypt. He's also advocating that broadband must be treated as a matter of urgency for Nigeria to advance in digital economy. We know that he has been actively engaged with various stakeholders over the past 6 months concerning this project. As we know, beyond just being the minister, this is something that we know that he had been advocating, they say, even while as a private citizen. So.
But let me just take Peter Obi. So Peter Obi, the former Anambra State governor and the candidate of the Labour Party, tweeted concerning the Democracy Day celebrations. He's tweeted on his assessment of the 25 years unbroken democracy. He said that the country should be returned to a truly democratic nation. Obi stated this on Twitter. He said, while we may say that in 1999 we started an earnest the right direction, today we have deteriorated into what can be classified as classical state capture. Instead of benefiting at all, it's becoming a deprivation to all. So as our dear nation marks Democracy Day today, commemorating 25 years of striving to be a democratic country, the fundamental question for all of us to ask is, are we truly democratic?
So I wanted to take the motorists blocking.
I have to take a break, Waiki. I'm so sorry. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Back here, the story.
Yes, so motorists were stranded on Wednesday on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway as buyers and sellers of livestock at the Kara market blocked sections of the road, causing a massive traffic jam.
There's no money. There's no money.
They said if you going, those going met traffic till after the market, and those coming met traffic.
Come in and...
So...
Don't forget that the market is usually flooded at this time.
They said yes.
But there's no money, there's Band-Aid.
They talked about the flooding.
Yes.
But they said passengers will just stop.
Wait, did the flood bring the market out?
They were displaying the goats on the road.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Was it the flood that pushed the market out, or just because they wanted to sell their market?
That's how it is every year. So what surprised me was stranded motorists, however, criticized the government for permitting the traders to disrupt traffic.
How the government had permitted them? They
traffic
take
flow,
advantage.
especially when expressways typically congested during festive periods. And I'm wondering, what concern government with this one right now?
It's just reasoning. You as a person should...
Well, that's what concerns government, because you put people who are supposed to enforce the law to make sure that you don't move.
Sometimes the Kara market is as old as Kara.
Okay.
What is Governor of Ogun State doing to create a proper place for them away from that slum and the road? They've always been there.
Well, the proper parking.
And they've always been a problem, whether inside season or outside season.
If somebody pause...
move the market. They are moving the Alaba market now.
The children have been able to get on the express.
Sometimes we need to self-regulate ourselves. Not every time that law enforcement have to be there. You're right. You're right. They should probably have created
some kind of... If it continues to be a problem as a governor, you have to be foresighted and do something.
Either create a parking space for people to park so that you can actually engage.
But you have to also be
getting... Why do people just park anyhow? Because
it's not our hot topic right
here. It is us... You know, it's us that become government. And when we get there, it's what government is doing that which we do, because we are just like them.
Exactly. Government, now you're entering...
No, I'm not entering.
You're gradually entering my area.
I can never be.
All right. Which are we done with punch?
You think she's calling you to a cult?
Vanguard. You are coming to my area that says we the people are also just as complicit as
we the people become government people. And when we become government, we'll be doing what government people are doing. So government people, that's what they are doing, and which we are copying them.
Vanguard.
Like them.
Vanguard, democracy, the eminent citizens, elder statesmen chart the way forward. Eagle Square slipped. Tinubu not Superman, says presidency. Why I support full local government autonomy, says Governor Abdul Razak. Labour rejects Tinubu's claim of minimum wage agreement. Why 1 trillion naira is needed to fund legacy projects, says NDDC. Lukman says APC can no longer win election without rigging. And Nigeria's crude oil production dropped to 1.25 million barrels per day in May, says OPEC.
So we have the governor of Kwara State, who has thrown his weight behind full autonomy for local government in the country, saying it will definitely reduce burden that is being shouldered by state government. And then he gave his own personal opinion. He says his personal belief is that each local government should manage its resources and be responsible for its obligations, including wages that are first-line charges. He also believed that state governors should not be held liable if any local government is unable to pay salaries, since we do not touch a kobo of their money. And he says that in his own administration, they don't have any joint project accounts with any local government in their state. And he compared it with the previous administration in the state. And he says, personally, this is not something that he does. But that his personal belief is not necessarily the same as, what the Constitution states. So the Constitution, we have what they call the Joint Account Allocations Committee, which allows for that collaboration with state and local government. But he thinks that it should be fully autonomous. They should do their thing while the state should do theirs, and then, be accountable for your own responsibilities. So, that is his own personal belief, and he hopes that this is something that... So he's not among the state government. Federal government is in court with state government. He's not part of them.
I'm not among. The NDDC story, so the Director Corporate Affairs of the NDDC, Pius Ogakpoteni, was defending the 1.9 trillion, which is their budget allocation before the Senate. And he was saying that the NDDC needs that for a 1,006 legacy project spread across the NDDC states, which includes roads, bridges, electricity projects, school buildings, hospitals, shore protection, and reclamation, among others. And he went on and on. The story plenty, but for me, I'm just wondering, is NDDC really, truly establishing any legacy projects? Are they really building strong quality projects? Who is auditing these amounts of money? That's his chapter.
Okay, so yesterday at the Eagle Square, the video went viral of our president's slip when he was trying to get on the vehicle for the parade. So the presidency has said that the president's he's human like others, according to the presidency. He said the president was just as human as everybody else. Special advisor to the president on information, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, said that the president was not a Superman. The president apparently missed a step, falling while climbing the special parade vehicle for the inspection of the guards during the June 12th anniversary. However, he quickly got up and continued with his assignments without any problem. But the incident obviously happened during a live telecast and obviously went viral, and many people were posting it on social media, and others started posting videos of various presidents across the world that have slipped in different capacities. They said Obama had slipped while they been, and so many other people were mentioned who had slipped, and it wasn't a big deal. But I was really happy that I thought, because he hit his chin, I thought I saw the chin was hurt, so I was really happy to see that he got up and he continued with the parade. So I'm hoping that there's no...
I also like the way he handled it.
After
event where he made,
jovial.
Where he made a joke out of it.
Yeah.
Usually, and that's a life lesson, for a lot of us. Don't be too
I like
embarrassed.
the fact that Peter Obi and Atiku sent their...
Yes.
I thought that was...
I thought that...
I think Atiku's PR was a bit...
Atiku did it almost immediately, which I thought was decent.
He did immediately. Did you read it?
Yeah.
How did you see what he was saying?
I can't remember what he said.
That was sarcastic. But Peter Obi was...
Yeah.
Okay, moving on now to the Nigerian...
positive energy.
We need the energy. Yes, Nigeria needs positivity right now.
BC, positive energy.
The Nigerian Tribune, Nigeria needs new constitution, Anyoku, Nwachukwu, others say. Restructuring, Nwodo Wabara, lead 20-man on Haneze committee to articulate Igbo's position. 2024 Hajj, over 1.5 million foreign pilgrims arrive Saudi Arabia. Our democracy declining because it's not from cultural experiences, says Kuka. Police arrest 31-year-old man with 8 human skulls in Ondo. World Bank Trade Ministry partner NSC to tackle multiple inspection order ports. Okay, story.
So, are you ready?
Go.
I was going to take the story of the 31-year-old man who was found with 8 human skulls. He said apparently they were in a bus, and the police stopped the bus for just a regular, and then he got down and started to run. So they chased after him, caught him, and when they opened his sack, he had a sack, gari sack, they found 8 human skulls and some flesh. What? And and he said that his mother was ill, that he was in the business because of his to treat his ailing mother. He said he used to be in the palm oil business, but finds trading with human skulls more lucrative.
Wait, so
they say the graveyard. He said he goes to the graveyard and then decapitates the bodies and sells them. He says he buys them at the rate of 20,000 and sells them for between 30 and 35,000 to herbalists. He said, I don't know what you can say in this kind of situation.
Terrible.
But there's a market for it. That's why they're doing.
Yes, there's demand.
Yes.
Both local and international.
What are they using them for?
I heard they use it, but even internationally, organ harvesting, trying to...
Remember that guy that I sent you the video?
Organ harvesting is from real life human beings, but you're going to the grave to dig up bodies.
Well, okay.
Like, why?
His own is not harvesting. His own is
digging up.
I resent that they call them herbalists. They're not herbalists. They are juju people. There's a name for them. They're not good. Voodoo. It's more like voodoo. It's not...
let me take another story.
Herbal.
Black magic.
No,
herbal is the one that handles the leaves. And, okay, let's talk about Ohaneze Ndigbo have set up a 20-man committee to articulate a unified position of the Igbos on the restructuring of the country. I think this is very, very crucial. The former Enugu State Governor, Dr. Okwesilieze Nwodo, and former President of the Senate, Senator Adolphus Wabara, are at the head of the committee unveiled on Wednesday. Quite a number of illustrious sons of the Southeast are there. We have people like Senator Ben Obi, Senator Julius Ocha, Mr. Dan Nwanyawu, Professor Epiphany Azingi, so many others. And this committee are going to sit down together and are going to articulate, which I think is what people have been saying, that there's no one voice coming from the Southeast. So this 20-man committee will come together, and they've inaugurated the committee already, and the idea really is to come with a unified position on what restructuring means to the Southeast, which I'm really happy about.
So the Minister for Trade and Investment was represented by, let me get a Ministry of Trade and Investment, was represented by the Director, Assistant Director in the Office of the Ministry, Dr. Brenda Masundwagube, at the Enhanced Trade, National Trade Facilitation Committee meeting with the World Bank representation at the Nigerian Shippers Council in Lagos, where they advanced calls for a better, harmonized, standardized, and simplified trading processes and procedures. And they were saying this is very important to be done, as you know, it is even more important for small and medium-scale enterprises who are looking to export, to have a working environment, a more friendly environment to do business. And so the congestions and all the multiple points at the ports should be handled by Shippers Council.
Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, on to our talk for today, and we'll bring in our special guest co-host. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So it's Thursday, and today we like to talk about family life issues. And today there was a story about a lady who was a guest on a podcast show saying that she hardly attended lectures, but graduated with good grades because she used her body to get what she wanted in school. Now the school has ordered her to return the certificate within 48 hours. You can also link this to a recent podcast where Yvonne Jegede too had an interview with a group called The Honest Bunch, where she expressed some of her thoughts because she was trying to promote her movie. And then some of the comments caused quite a bit of online backlash that forced her to post a rejoinder, put out a press release to state her own side of the story. Well, let's hear your thoughts. There are two parts of this. First, the part of the podcasts, because somebody has said that when you're in a podcast, you kind of just spew everything out, without restraint, forgetting that, listen, this thing will be re-edited and posted. Others are saying, like, listen, that's who they are, and they said it exactly as they, and they deserve whatever it is that they got afterwards. What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 081-0764-1679, 0902416340. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. We'll speak first on this, the lady whose school has contacted her to return her certificate. Now, she went on the podcast, JJ just to talk. And now this happens. What comes to mind? Who'd like to go first, Mariam?
Okay. When I heard the story, she talked about how she had to go to the streets or on the streets to take care of things. That was, okay, that's her journey. But when she said that she slept with lecturers, she still made her papers, now the school had to come in. I just found that the school had every reason to come in at that point. But what I would say is that it's not enough to ask her to return the certificate, but also investigate those lecturers that slept with her and gave her grades that she didn't deserve for her to have graduated. Yeah. Then you have done a full, complete work. Not one, you cannot single her out in this whole ecosystem and, not give the punishment accordingly. But it shows that we need to be careful what we say, because for me, for her to have said it, I thought her response after hearing this would be acceptance of, okay, they've heard me. I always say that there are some people that will do things, and when they catch them, I'm like, but you opened your mouth to say it now. Then you should own it with your full body and everything. Be audacious. But obviously, she did not realize. I don't know how she did not think. Maybe because she didn't she didn't attend lectures as often. It would have occurred to her that to have said something like that, she's putting not only herself, the lecturers and everyone out in the open, and she would definitely be asked to pay for it. So definitely the school is doing what they are meant to do, which is ask her to return it. But please, we would like to hear the story that the lecturers as well were called out and sacked for doing this.
You missed,
very important.
I think what you missed in that story is she said she worked hard for the papers. And she worked hard for that degree.
Okay.
So work hard is relative.
No. So for me, where I am is the way we have now
interpreted it.
No, right and wrong.
There's no
whether it is right, whether it is wrong. We just do everything wrong and right. It's all the same thing now. There is no difference between right and wrong. So that's what I find so. You said it's wrong. I mean, you don't know it's wrong. She doesn't see it as wrong.
Yeah.
She sees them asking her to leave or to return her certificate as wrong. Because something happened many years ago. We were on tour. I've said this story before on set. We were on tour, and one of the dancers, she was in Unilag, and she was having exams. But she came on tour to make money. She had somebody sitting for her exams for her in school. Because they were having exams, and she was making money. She was found out, and she was rusticated. And she was discussing with someone, saying, can you imagine how wicked they are? They are asking me to leave because I'm not writing my exam myself. And I said,
don't you realize?
God, I didn't put my watch on silence.
Nima, let me come to YYK is sorting out her.
No, I finished.
But you see, let me come to you, Nima, because you know you've not said anything.
I didn't finish. Okay, I didn't finish.
Okay, you're turning off your alarm now. Have you finished?
I've turned it off.
Both of you will not kill us on this show.
So what is... So when I now said that, I was now the bad person. I said, you are here dancing. Someone is writing your exam. They have got you. You know, she didn't understand. So everybody looked at me as the bad person. I was saying, come, you are the bad person now. You are the one cheating.
Yeah.
So it's our idea of right and wrong.
Yeah, absolutely correct. We don't see that there are repercussions for things we do. We just feel like this is Nigeria, anything goes. Hey, I've said it, hey, so who's going to catch me? But let me come to you.
So there's a problem with what we call a graduate in Nigeria and what we think it means. So for this person, just hold a degree, BSc, whatever, however
you get it.
However you get it is what it means. We don't know that it means that the university certifies you to be fit, proper, and having earned it, showing that your intellectual capacity has increased, your exposure through education has changed your thinking. We don't know that it's a bad representation to the school to have somebody sit at a podcast and exhibit such foolishness. So, yes,
so the certificate belongs to the school.
It is the property of the school. You are carrying it as a representative of the school. It means that you're fit and proper to associate with what the school projects itself to stand for. The Harvard you are going, the Oxford you are going. That's what it means. When you now come here, you see the 1 year finish. That's the problem. She did not acquire any level of intelligence from going to school.
She didn't go.
No, she did not say she no go. So she know, she didn't. Our parents used to joke this, and we used to think it means that we should socialize in school. Let the school pass through you when you pass through the school. Those things they used to tell us. Don't just go to school. Let the school. We did not know that it means that you're a reformed, better individual than you were when you wrote your JAMB and got into school. You're more wiser, more brilliant, more intelligent at problem solving. Yeah. So you just go. You have to be on the streets. Then you slept your way to the max. And me and you are holding first degrees and you are shouting. Whereas you're a foolish person and the other person is better reformed. And so you mean to go to school now. I get BSc now. That's all you have to show for it.
That's what I'm saying. Because she didn't go to school.
I get
you. She did not realize that, you know.
I get you 100%. In fact, I'm with you 100%. So I'm just saying to her, That is why the school has to recall what they have given to other. This one no fit. We did a mistake. Because when we are picking all the beans that we bought, this one slipped into the good bunch. It was a mistake. The school, if the school had not recalled it, I remember some students had this, they had a fraud issue in a company, and they were degree holders from the university I finished, and I read in the papers that the school was recalling their certificate. I was like, they let the EFCC or whoever is investigating the fraud even finish. And they get a conviction. But it was so messy at the time they were recalling. I was like, then this one now goes with a full mouth open. Give a documentary evidence, a video evidence of her confession. You know, setting up a kind of worms, like Miriam said, because all the lecturers involved in whatever number of years she did in school should be probed. All of them should be investigated.
And sacked.
And sacked.
You know what?
You know
what is funny about this is, in her mind, she thought she was giving a grass to grace.
No. Controversial.
She thought it was a story that
would know the difference between right and wrong.
Empathy and understanding, like, you know, what I had to do in order to go to school. You see, that's why I don't like this conversation where they say Yahoo boys are actually smart. You know, when we are talking about hard work and people, they'll be like, no, it's because Yahoo boys are actually smart. It's hard work to be able to do the sort of the level of fraud that they do. As far as I'm concerned, they are criminals. They are not smart, because if they were smart, they will understand the repercussions of what they were doing. They understand that there are people who are victims at the end of whatever it is that they're doing. She does not understand that what she has done is collect something that was not meant for her. People went to school. They spent their hours, their money, you know, made serious sacrifices.
Some didn't pass.
And your own is you slept through school and you're sitting down with, you know, somebody and you're saying it out.
There's
this conversation.
Okay,
there's no intelligence.
You're not book smart. You're street smart. And when you're street smart, you still know that some things should not be done. But when you're smartless, foolish, you don't know where what applies. Because she did not say it in that place to exchange, sorry, Miriam, I disagree, to express a grass to grace story. No. She came to do a controversial, chest it, I had to do what I had to do story. That's what she came to do. And she didn't think twice. It's like an armed robber who murdered somebody's father, coming to marry the daughter and saying, I had to do what I had to do. All of those stories we read in hints those days. You are the ones, you were part of the gang that murdered her father, but you want to marry her and you had to do what you had to do. You're asking for forgiveness. I don't understand. Are you the lowest level of intelligence?
How would you do that? This call from Jimo. Good morning, Jimo. You're live. Thanks for calling. Hello? Right here. I think you can come in.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's this same thing I'm saying, that we do not know. We have grown up into a nation of, we don't know the difference between right and wrong. Everything is right, whether it is wrong or right. Look, a downfall man will stop on the road. You are coming behind him, he will stop in front of you. Yeah. You will try and overtake him. He will come out again.
Lock you.
And then when you talk, he will abuse you.
Yes.
That means he does not see that you have done anything wrong.
No,
yes. Exactly.
He's right. You that you are complaining, you are the foolish person. So I have been noticing that we don't know the difference between right and wrong anymore. Yeah. How are we going to start to train ourselves to know the difference between right and wrong? Yeah.
We have normalized
we teach ourselves as children, babies, the difference between right and wrong. We teach our children. What now as adults we have lost?
If it is this bad with our generation, imagine what's to be with our kids' generation. Do you know school buses with full bus of kids? Okay, go.
Let me take a call from Emmanuel. Thanks for calling. You're live. Morning.
Okay, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
I'm very touched with the topic you are saying. Please, I want to beg you, ladies. This kind of story, please, I want you ladies to first of all go underground and do some research in our schools and know what is happening in the schools. The lady that said this, yeah, I bet you, if anybody that went to school from 1990 to today and tell you what their children go through in school to get certificate, this is just a minor thing that you say. 90% of years that go through school. This kind of story, you people should not just take it. Go underground for 1 month and then study what this girl said and know what lecturers and students, what lecturers are doing to students. The lady that said this, I don't know her age. At the time she was at school, how old was she to have gone through that kind of a system?
So are we going to excuse what she did?
Our school system are best.
So
I am in my 50s, and I went to school. There were people that knew what they were writing, but the lecturer would never give you what you want because they want to see with you.
Okay.
So she's saying that it's for you people, journalists, to go underground for 1 month or even for 1 year before you bring this kind of topic on television to discuss.
Thank you very much, Yvonne.
Sex for marks has trended before.
So we have definitely, I was going to say that. I was going to discuss that because we actually have extensively discussed sex for marks over the years. The only reason why we're bringing this topic now is based on what was trending on social media. It's a hot topic, and that's what we're doing, a hot topic. And, but definitely, you're right, sex for marks is something we've treated over time. I've actually gone some really extensively to get more investigation on that. So we've
investigative journalists have done the work.
Done a lot of work.
Plenty works on it. They've discovered. So we're saying we went to school. At one point or the other, you would have seen an attempt of a lecturer or any other at it. But is that how you earn a degree for 5 years, for a law course, for instance, or a BSc, that is enough for you to exhibit and you know, misguide younger people by putting it in a podcast? We know they're evil everywhere, in every sector, in every business that you go. You will see sex for something. We are dealing with it as a society. We have not reached where we would like. But because journalists did not go underground does not mean we should excuse one person who comes and misguides public by expressing it as our way to having achieved a degree. So we did with the lecturers one part. We will do underground and some lecturers will go for it. But when a person owns up to it, that person too should, you know.
She did not realize what she was holding up to. YK, you mentioned this attitude where we don't seem to know what is right and what's wrong. And recently there's this tweet that's quite making the rounds right now, and it's about our Nigerian passports and the sort of treatment Nigerians get holding the Nigerian passport, where they are just assumed that you're a criminal and things like that. And so a lady made a tweet. She says that she used to be married to a Nigerian, and that whenever they would travel, she saw that sort of injustice, you know, to her ex. But she says she also knows of Nigerian communities where they live so loudly in their crime. So you go to different countries, you're doing different crimes, but you're so boastful about it.
Someone else about
so
it.
yes, she admitted, she says she even thinks that countries like Russia and many other European countries are worse than us when it comes to some of these internet fraud. But there's a way that we carry it, which is we now have a culture where we don't realize that what we're doing is wrong. We're just so proud of our crime and the proceeds of our crime. We're just putting it on social media. And remember
Easy to pick you out.
Yes, remember the hush puppies. He was so proud of what he was doing. In fact, we started having celebrities sitting with him to endorse him in one form or the other, you know, and using him to tell all the young people that, look at him, you two work hard so it can be like him. So that's it.
That angle.
That's it. There's no culture. There's no proper culture.
That is so, goes to the heart of this, who we are as Nigerians, what we've become.
What we've allowed ourselves.
What we've become, based on the circumstances of our society, what we see. Because you're right, you don't even see the difference. You don't even know. A lot of things we do it so loudly. Now, we have to make it a culture. That's because me, I like to do loud when I go to parties. Spraying for me is normal. But if you want to look at it properly, should I be disrespecting the naira by throwing it on the floor? Really? But for me, I'm so accustomed to it that it's me. It's my it's my DNA. I cannot go to a party because I feel like how can I go to? How can you be doing 50? And I'm not going, see on what basis? What that means I don't respect you.
Example of a school.
I heard somebody say that this one that they say we can't go and spray at parties, what are we going
to do and do?
Exactly.
You eat and go home.
You have food in your house. I don't need to eat in your party. I'm coming to your party. No, because the objective, when you go to a party, you sit down there, they serve you small chops, you listen to the MC. We are waiting for the moment that the Alagbo,
have you ever
the guy at the band, starting to dance to play, and then the celebrant moves forward, and then you go and hear one see. That is why you are there.
Oh, yeah, one see by attending. Have you ever imagined throwing a party and nobody comes? That's the point. We have taken the honor of attending away from the attendance. So you must climb stage and spray. The band is supposed to entertain people to dance, but we have carried the honor from dance to go to the band to show off, say,
no,
as we are calling my name.
It's not showing up.
It is show. We have crossed to the calling my name thing. If a band calls my name at a party, it's a different feeling altogether. Whereas I attended the party, imagine. So we have taken it, we have redefined it.
Mention my name at parties, I just beg them. Please, and I go and secretly give them money. Please, just don't call me.
But they will even call you for that money.
Anyway, let me take over. Calm down.
Before band A, were you telling them to make it secret?
I was.
Let me take this call.
I hate spraying.
Okay.
I really do.
I don't. Owolabi from Igbeda.
Hello.
Good morning, Owolabi from Igbeda. You're live. Go ahead.
I think the school really do a justice to this by calling the lady out and asking her to return the certificate within 48 hours. This will rewrite the wrong. Because you see some ladies like, I slept my way to the top. What about the lady that is hardworking, that walk her way to the top? So, last week, my alma mater, I have a lady there. When we are having 4, the lady will have 5. I will imagine that, I didn't see this lady in class. And this lady passed first class. I was struggling to even have 2-1. So this thing, I think, is a wake-up call for everybody. And for him, like my lecturer will say, common sense is not common. That's just what happened to her. I'm feeling that, okay, she will work hard for the certificate and the school should do that. That is a good 100% I'm in support of it. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
All right, let me go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with this topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Joining the conversation is an entrepreneur, media personality, a Christian lifestyle influencer, the CEO of Oak and Tick Interiors, founder of Oak and Tick Foundation. Last year, she won the Eloy Awards for Entrepreneur of the Year. She committed to the younger generation is evident through initiatives such as the Grow with Rennie mentorship program, found to impact a group of young ladies. Welcome with us, Morenike Mulein, to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
So we'll talk about what your mentorship much later.
All right.
Before you came, we were talking about all these podcasts. Recently, this young lady went to go and say she slept through university. I mean, she slept with the lecturers to get her degree. And then the school has retracted the degree. In relation to that, there was another podcast that Yvonne Jegede went on where she was talking about May and Edochie's marriage, and she was just trying to express her thoughts as regards polygamy in Nigeria, saying that many of us are just hypocrites. You know, the many families are products of polygamy, second wife, third wife, fourth wife. So why was everybody making a big deal about this person? Of course, Nigerians are quite sentimental towards me because obviously she lost a 16-year-old child, and you know this is a man that she had loved, and publicly we knew their relationship. So it was like all the in-laws online didn't find it funny, and they really went after her. What are your thoughts on all these podcasts and people just expressing, saying things, and what do you think about the whole?
You know, so I always joke that I just hope that podcasts will not, end us in, like, will not divide Nigeria, right? Because we just have lots of people come on these shows, and I'm not sure if they are like experts in these things that they say, right? They just come, and because of their status, right, they just feel like they have the right to dish out this information, not knowing that there are lots of people that look up to them, and everything that they say, they have the responsibility of their words, right? So for me, I mean, like the lady with the grades. First of all, like, I'm not in support of that. And the fact that she had the, audacity to come out to talk about it, like, to what extent? Like, why did she do that? Like, what was the motive? Like, what are you trying to promote?
She wasn't thinking.
She thought it was a I worked hard
story for, like, you say.
She did a video where she was crying.
Yes, worked hard. That's what she thought.
I'm wondering, What kind of work? So all the work on your back is hard work.
Well,
Hey,
it might be.
well,
For some people,
yeah, but not for
easy.
certificate.
It's not easy with different men.
It's not easy to carry gun too.
Unfortunately for her, that's not what you need to get a certificate. So she used the wrong skill for the wrong.
So that's why I'm wondering if she knows the difference between right and wrong.
No, she doesn't.
So I think at the end of the day, like, right, I feel like sometimes it goes back to like background. It goes back to like your mindset. It goes back to like, you know, how did you grow up? Like, what were the things that you were looking at, like, you know, the environment and all that. And that, I know we haven't started talking about my mentorship program, but those are the things that, you know, made me start it, because I'm like, there are certain things that may be missing either in your childhood or in your background, or, you know, that makes you grow up and you think that certain things are okay, right? Like she said, like she might think that it was right.
Okay, nothing wrong.
Right?
But see, what you said is so important, because I just realized that, you know, so many years you don't your view. Because sometimes when I hear certain things, I cringe. I'm like, we've been doing this show for 11 years. We thought we were impacting people. We thought we were changing people's mind. You shouldn't be hearing certain things anymore, because people watch the show. We love that people are watching the show. But we are hoping that your mind is being reorientated and you're having information. But in some parts, they have no clue.
They have no clue.
And you'll be shocked that we're not getting through to everybody.
Yes.
We're not.
We can't.
We're not getting through to the people we need to get through to.
Well,
we're getting through to maybe people who already have our own kind of mindset. I don't know, because let me tell you, when I was in my 20s, I used to drive on Echo Bridge, and I used to see that they were stealing the railings. You know, you just see one railing here, go one railing, not that many, but they said they were using them to make buckets. And it was like, why are you doing that? But I think people didn't realize it was wrong.
No.
It became a situation where if you go on Echo Bridge now, there are no railings. Everybody has used it to make spoon or buckets. Now they are now going to, because I was watching I think it was Journalist Hangar, where they caught some people taking from the railway tracks.
Yes.
Even the new
and
terminal
bribed
bridge.
the customs, the guys that caught them, I forgot, 1.5 million. And those ones said no. Do you know the impact it will cause?
But do you know where that
trains will derail?
Yeah. But do you know where that comes from? Because here in Nigeria, we say people are poor, and so they are justified. Every time someone is caught doing something, the next thing you say, well, we are poor, there's no food. What do you expect people to do? So we have justified bad behavior, and now we don't know the difference. That's why you find a girl like that. Honestly, for the way she said it, it's something maybe she has even discussed with friends. These are things that they do. She knows someone that may have graduated like that as well. And she thinks, look at what the extra hard work that I had to do to get a certificate. So we don't have a sense of good and evil anymore.
I didn't get admission quite early. And so all of my friends were most likely in their 300, even some were on their way to law school when I got admitted. And I remember some of them were gisting one time, and I say, there's this particular lecturer, when you take his course, don't bother reading. Just let one of your friends. So one of their friends did the work for all of them. And they were gisting about it. But when I got to school, it wasn't an option that I would even explore. I finally met the same lecturer. I took his course and just wrote my exam and passed and went. I didn't even express it, share it at home, talk less of tell somebody else. I sat in that conversation as if I was in the, I concurred. I was like, okay. And everybody was just talking. And I talk and move on. There's something I wanted to refer quickly to, you know, this standard, when YK was saying it was like that. And I'm saying, even in our generation, now how will it be with our children? When a school bus is going on a one-way and is confronting the right of way, I say, can't you see the school bus? And the kids are seeing that example of fast, anyhow, but fast. You know, nobody wants to wait. And the examples are very many of we're promoting all these ills.
It just reveals who we are as a people. Let me take this from Reverend Dominic YK. Good morning. Who we have become. Good morning, Reverend Dominic. You're live.
Good morning. Good morning, my friend. Denise. Good morning, everybody.
Reverend Dominic.
How are you?
How many years? Welcome.
No, I'm sitting here. I watch you. I heard you. You are doing very well.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
The
sir.
topic today, Moraya. This blame is enough to go around. I have get to the company that do the podcast. And the chairman told me it is scripted, it's not real story. That lady was rehearsing, a speech they gave her to read. So the lady was not giving a life, a true life story, but it's like to show the picture in real estate, the picture in school certificate, the picture in people who traffic women. That is by the side. But Moral, you don't know why I said the blame is enough to go around. Between you on that level. There's a lady in Nigeria, a young girl about 21, 20, 22, that married a man 25 years old. Because he was a billionaire, she's right. But if a lady wants to marry another man that has one wife, because the man is a poor man, he's a homebreaker. And that's what you celebrities do. Because this one married a billionaire, 21 years old, we should condemn everybody. And he has 2 children. I saw her in blog 2 years ago that he's going to give the 2 children a mansion. And everybody was hailing her. What is abomination in African culture? My friend is my age, you didn't know what I'm saying. But to you, that level, that lady one day will come to that level, and they will shine her teeth. I marry a billionaire, and he gave her 1 million naira watch. But if somebody else marry another man that is also a billionaire, he becomes a home broker. What is right in Nigeria? What is
Thank
wrong?
you very much,
That's what my friend is saying. We don't know what is wrong and right in Nigeria. To me,
could you let me explain? I didn't get
Yeah, because he was saying if a lady marries a millionaire who has another wife, they will hail her.
A young lady marrying a billionaire.
They will hail her, she's a heroine or a hero. If another young lady marries a poor man, she becomes a homebreaker. Because that one doesn't have money. So we don't know the difference. He's saying the same thing. We don't know.
I think he's referring to Yvonne Jegede's.
So let's go into Yvonne Jegede for a second. You know what she said. I mean, I watched the interview. I don't know if you watched it at all. What are your thoughts? Who was
Okay, I watched the interview, and immediately she was talking. What I got was because she had mentioned polygamy as a culture. Because she referred to y'all, sort of derailed the point she was making for those who were thinking too far. I just heard her, as far as I'm concerned, saying polygamy is something that is right in our faces. We have friends on our left, sisters on our right, family members everywhere who are likely products of this. And it's not, doesn't make it bad. We choose and pick the one. And then she referred to Nedwoko and Regina's marriage and saying a polygamy Nigerians love. I even know the one of Messiah Igbe that comes out and we say it's now Islamic kind of polygamy. We choose and endorse which we want. We're not a society completely against polygamy. It's the one of the person we don't like. Now we choose. That's what I heard her say. And then because of the reference to your Edochie, and then they went, I just saw her doing a PR 2-page rejoinder on what she had said. I didn't hear her endorse the pain. Because yours pain came out doesn't mean that Nedwoko's first wife was happy about Regina.
Thank you.
We all knew that Messiah Igbe's first wife was hurt and pained, but Nigerians did not bring the country down. Messiah Igbe did not stop producing movies, neither did she stop acting. But we carried, because your wife's pain was out there, the loss of his son and everything, we carried that particular polygamy on our heads, and we thought, who are you, Yvonne, to have a voice about polygamy and even think to compare this one? You know, we are Nigerians. I was 13 when I met a young boy who was brought to family. And his other was step or half, how they call them? Because they're from saying that different mom. The mom was from Ekiti and had kept this boy somewhere far in Abeokuta. Driver brought him. And the other brothers were hosting him into the family. And I was like, this polygamy thing that I've been reading from the books to hate. You know, it's probably different. And they had a bigger family, siblings, as hosting, and they did a 13th year remembrance then for their dad when they met that boy. He was a baby when the father died. Never knew his dad. And I was like, okay, I understand this. You cannot claim not to know one person, two persons, friends who are like this. You can't even go to the kind of secondary school I went. Military men spread these children everywhere. My late uncle, at the wedding of his son, came to Lagos, and him and my dad went to look for child. He abandoned somewhere in Ajegule. She was almost 40. So that's the point Regina was trying to make. But now, Yvonne was trying to make. Let me come to you, Miriam.
Yeah, so it just says to you, that Nigerians, what do we want?
We don't.
What do we want? What do we really think about polygamy? But the thing is, with podcasts and, going on for interviews and the way the world is all that kind of media is. You pick out a part of someone's conversation just to have reactions, and you don't pay. Sometimes, you know, these people, they don't even think about the person that they had invited. You know, you take out a part of story out of context and make that person look a certain way. Why can you were on Chudi's thing? You know, not too long ago.
I don't go on social media.
Exactly.
Like just a few. If they abuse me, it's inside their pockets.
Yeah, but what she was saying and what became the conversation is like we're waiting. The way I see it for many Nigerian media consumers, like we're just waiting to hear something salacious or a little bit controversial so that we can attack and, you know, cut into pieces this human being. So having, you know, listened to what Yvonne Jegede said and how you've explained, that is how I see it as well. She was not talking about May's pain. She was just talking about the institution of polygamy and how Nigerians, we haven't yet decided what we want. Yeah. If you dance for one person for doing the same thing that you're calling someone out, it makes no sense. So the problem is not this polygamist then, it's you. Yeah. What do you want?
So basically, we shouldn't be hypocrites.
Yes.
We are hypocrites. Because, I mean, I love what Nima said earlier, that nobody knows about Regina's first wife's pain.
Yes.
We don't know what she went through or what she's going through even till today, because she doesn't come out. We don't know. I know a family where I know there are multiple wives. The last wife obviously has all the attention of the man. The first wife is alive and well, and she's going through her own pain. You can see the pain, but the woman has just accepted her life.
You know, because for me, if it happened to me, if I had been in the lady, the one that made the podcast.
Yvonne's shoes. Yvonne.
Yvonne. If I'd been in, and people went for me, I wouldn't defend myself. I would just delete every single one that abused me from my page. I would just delete. And either that or I don't go, because I find we live our lives by social media, by what people think about us. It's so important to us. It has become so important. But I'm from a generation where there was no social media. You know, social media is, even Instagram, it's Tokpai that was putting me on all these Twitter and everything. I didn't put myself.
They say perception is reality. So people perceive of you. That's reality today. So if you don't come out to open up and be courteous because of the people you care about, you might actually...
So I just wanted to quickly add this, that, you know, it might not really have been because of the noise from social media, you know, because I'm sure as a celebrity she would have been getting like backlashes from way back. But I think she thought about the person in question and decided to do that for that reason. If it was for
in her second paragraph, she says, upon reflecting on the interview, I realized that my words were not articulated in a way that conveyed my true intentions and have been misconstrued as insensitive, particularly towards me, Edochie, a woman who has endured significant pain and hardship occasioned by estranged marriage. I deeply regret that my comments were perceived as adding to her distress. It was not my intention to cause any pain or disrespect.
Oh,
woman is
PR company got it right.
Even if the PR company, but for me, just say another A, because now she's you know, come out to, you know, understand, share an understanding with a woman, because women go through these things all the time, and the whole world will say, what is wrong with you? Why are you reacting? But if the person within the family bringing the pain is the breadwinner, be taking things easy is what you will hear. So,
when she made this press release, what was the reaction of the people who had been abused?
No, those will keep abusing.
This one they slow down.
So it's not really about us. You know, it's not about them. It's about me. Whether she feels even that way. Maybe even me does not even think that she said anything wrong. But at least she just showed her that courtesy. Maybe it's time. But I was going to say that, you know, we are sort of in the media. We're on social media and we're on TV. And we normally sometimes think that many people are like us. I have friends that they will tell you, I can't remember last time I got on Instagram. You posted on Instagram. It's been like, the last time I was there was last month. You see them with their 3 posts and they're living their lives. So we just assume everyone is like us. Many people don't. They live their lives in real life. They don't care what it is you're doing here. And you also happens to be an actor and always been on social media. So he's his own story and with Mercy Aigbe, their own story is more likely to garner more interest than a Ned Nwoko who minds his business, does his political whatever, and he goes. Money. And the reason we know Regina is because she's an actor on social media, so we know her own side of the story. So let's not just assume that all Nigerians are on social media wanting to, you know,
when recently Mercy Aigbe's husband was in the US, I think to celebrate with his first wife. I think it was a birthday.
They were at an event.
With the event. So he was spraying her. And then somebody put, I'm not sure who posted it. He was spraying his first wife in the US, dollars and all that.
Comments?
And comments were doing as if, and I wonder, Mr. Igwe is probably not sleeping right now.
Somebody said not in that house. Don't even come back to tell us people have said so.
Even just look at it. They had another person. That was my dream last night.
No, don't dream that kind of dream.
No, YK can dream it now. It's okay. YK, I'm sure you can accommodate one more person.
And in the dream, I didn't talk. I was just sleeping.
But YK, if Uncle Theo comes and he needs something younger, would you?
Shebi is his life.
Exactly. So that's where we need to be heading. Listen, ladies.
No, let's ask you.
Hear me. I am the host. I'm not asking questions. Because the reality, let's us be truthful.
Okay.
You're a Christian, you believe in the one man, one wife. But the truth is that a lot of times, the reality as we grow older, man has achieved, woman has achieved, you just want companion. And you feel like the woman in the house is not giving you that companion anymore. You need somebody younger, like a Regina. You need somebody who is very out there, who keeps your blood flowing. So would you, as a woman, who's the first wife?
You
have a first wife. You have children that are growing in the US, you're traveling to Canada to go and see them. Why would you worry that your husband is...
What if you're not traveling?
What if you're not traveling to Canada? What if you keep working out and doing all these things?
I keep traveling.
That is
look after my grandchildren.
Yeah.
So I'm living life. So what I'm doing is I'm living the path open.
Yes, exactly.
Those who are going to come.
The real point.
Let me help you.
Why kid?
They're helpers. I can't help us.
Yes, why kid? The point I'm trying to make is that should you face the reality that a man will need a helper at some point in his life?
I face the reality.
No, that's where we are.
But apart from someone like me, now I don't even have say because he has a right. He just need to do what he wants to do. But does it mean that I will be happy throwing the party when he's doing it?
But you know, my own problem with this helper conversation is that what if I am the woman that needs a helper?
I know I was about to say that.
Can't a woman have a helper?
So the thing is, we will be unstable, men, women. So we just need to like grow together. As the man is desiring, the woman
our own helpers are usually our children. We go to see them. No, listen now. Our helpers usually. I'm not saying that is usually when you have your children who are doing well, that fills you. That void. Can we have one show? That void that is missing. Your children usually fill it for you and give you joy and happiness. It's the man that is looking for helper. We usually don't look for helpers.
Well, that's in a lie.
Everybody needs helpers.
There's a pain that comes with, you know, we women were very emotional. We have this dream of grow old together, Joma Lora Wagbo mentality.
Yeah.
And then you see the man says, I'm done with you. And he does the dropping. And continues with the younger person. It's not you are not doing Laura Wagbo and you want to console with your children. It's not the same.
Okay.
You just look at it and say, okay, God bless you, that your kids are doing fine. You don't continue to shout it. Nobody asks you, my children are okay for me, I'm okay. If they were not doing fine, you'll be cursing. Yes, you'll be bitter. And that's the conversation we want people to have. So for men in Islam, that explanation of can you love equally is that you don't at any time use the provisions, the right of other room, anything to cheat on any one of them. It's even a sin accountable before God. That's how the Quran says it. Because Muslim men don't go to that part that you answer to the pain one is going through, one of them is going through in the locked room. So for instance, maybe you now have 2 naira. Say, okay, it's because it's 2 naira that I have, but I love Miriam more. Let me just give Miriam 2 naira. Why Morenike? She's older now.
Let me
she can manage.
From Badmus. I'll come back to
give equal.
Morenike, Badmus, you're live.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I appreciate what people are discussing this morning.
Yeah.
I want to ask this simple question. Which one is better?
It's a simple question.
Sorry, say that again.
I said which one is better between polygamous and adultery? Because most men these days, they don't remarry when they get to the stage of 50 years. They'll be going out and be pursuing small girls. They're supposed to remarry.
For Mr. Badmus, adultery leads to polygamy. Because for you to marry a second wife, you must have probably committed adultery or tried to see somebody. So if it's from adultery that you move to polygamy.
Polygamy does not also stop adultery. Some people have many wives and they're still out on the streets.
But Abraham in the Bible, when he married Sarah,
Abraham, okay.
He married Sarah and later married Hagar. It is not committed adultery. That's a mutual relationship between the wife and the husband. They
know how
agree
Sarah felt.
before he can get that woman to his house as a wife. But there's competition along the line, which is natural between woman.
Natural.
It is a natural thing. Even we that were born into a polygamous home, we can visualize that rivalry between our parents, even among the children.
Okay, I didn't get the last part of what he said, but yeah.
So it says
natural.
women are usually competitive. There's always that jealousy, rivalry. Even between children or co-wives, that means you're not even co-wives to one man, maybe co-wives to a brother. Brothers, you see women in competition.
Anyway, we need to wrap up on this, but I think in a nutshell, really, I'm really happy that Yvonne gave out that press release, because especially in respect to May. And also, I think that I also agree with Nima. She was completely misconstrued in what she said. Her intention was never to disrespect me. Her intention was just to show that polygamy, and the truth that polygamy is around us. In and out, we know people around us who are all products of polygamy. So let's not all pretend. And because we don't also see on social media the pains of the people who are affected by polygamy. My mom had her own personal issues that I had to deal with as a daughter. So everybody has one thing they're dealing with. But hey, what we modern women have realized is that...
Is your father a Muslim?
My father is a Muslim. Oh, he's entitled to. So he had a couple of wives. But what we modern women know is that if we are tired, they know how to... No, let me not go there. Anyway, Morenike, let's come to you because there's a lot of work you're doing. Let's come to your interview.
Thank you.
I know that you're doing a lot of
You have to go there.
No, why can't we have a...
No. Mariah, you can't cut us off. We're your viewers.
What I'm saying is
you
that...
can't cut us halfway.
For example, you're a 60-year-old woman and you're with a man who has... Okay, let me go there.
Okay.
What I meant to say is that a modern woman right now, has a husband who is probably ready to be a polygamist. Right? She has a choice. Back then, you are forced to stay. Society forces you to stay. This woman, modern today, may not stay, might insist on having a divorce and moving on and remarrying and still have a happy, fulfilled life. That's the point of it. So today's woman is not the woman that just sit down and say, oh, he has gone to... I'm also going. As you are going, we are going. We are both going. And we're happy. And we still have a civilized relationship and raise our kids. But we are both looking for happiness.
It's okay for her to leave and be a side chick in another marriage.
No, she doesn't say that.
She might be happy to find
It's a possible outcome.
Okay, it's a possible outcome. Let's be fair. It is a possible outcome because she might become a second wife or a third wife somewhere else. We are all in this together. Let's come to Morenike's interview.
That is another topic.
Does it pay to be a second or third wife more than the first?
That's a lovely topic. Is it even... But for another day,
better to be
Morenike, tell us about your mentorship work, because I know you're doing quite a bit of work in that area.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much. So, I think it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I started getting like lots of requests. Oh, please, I'd like you to mentor me in the area of entrepreneurship, in the area of this, in the area of that. But I knew that it wasn't going to be smart to just do like one-on-ones, all the time. So 2 years ago, January 1st, I decided to, start my mentorship program. And it's to just, mentor young ladies in their 20s and just, mentoring people to live a wholesome life, right? So in the area of spirituality, career and business, finance and investment, personal development, charity and ministry, and even enjoyment as well, because as we're living life, we need to also factor in that we need to enjoy this life that we have been given. And so I put out the posts, I was just expecting 10 people. I just wanted 10 people per cohort. And, we had like over 1,000 registrations under 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, so I knew that there was a gap. And there was a serious need for it. So we did that. And it meant that we had to like send out like 1,000 rejection emails, and then the next quarter again, same thing happened, and I could only take 10 because I just wanted like a very small...
1,000, just 10.
Yes, wow. So the application process is very extremely tedious, yes. And so, anyways, cut long story short, then last year on my birthday, like 12 days to my birthday, I was thinking, what do I want to do? And most times during my birthday, I try to do impact projects, you know. That's what like just gives me joy and fulfillment. And I just thought, okay, let me just do a crash mentorship program for those that couldn't, you know, get into the program and that were sending rejection. Every time that my EA had to send those rejection letters, you know, it just hits me that, okay, so what will happen to these people? And so in 12 days, you know, called out for the mentorship program, and we had like almost 1,000 people show up for that, and we did like a crash, you know, mentorship program, and then we did another one again this year, and we had about 2,000 in person and over 1,000 watching online from different parts of the country, different parts of the world rather, and then we took it to Ghana as well, and then we're also going to Kenya, South Africa, and Egypt. But the whole point is just mentoring young people and just, you know, guiding them so that they make, you know, right decisions and then they live a fulfilling life.
In doing this, what would you say is the maybe more frequent requests? Like, what is it that young people are dealing with? Like, if you were to put them like number, like what's the highest that you feel young people are dealing with and need help?
Someone asked me this question yesterday, and interestingly, I don't know, like our youths, they love money because usually the top 3 will be, you know, their business and their career. So they want to make sure that they are making the right decisions in terms of like their career choices and their businesses as well, and their finance and investment. So the little money that they have, how do they, you know, save it? How do they invest in it? And their relationships. Yeah. So some of them aren't married yet, but they are looking to, you know, ensure that they meet the right person. How do they identify the right person with all the stories that they hear, you know, nowadays? It's just like, God, are there still good men out there? Are there still good women out there?
Why do you think they come to you instead of like a parent? Why do you think? Do you think there's something in our parenting that's not quite
missing?
That's missing.
Definitely.
What is it?
Definitely.
I'd like you to advise, because I'm dealing with a young girl who is in a relationship. She's very much in love, and I keep insisting this is not the time. You know, because I just feel that there's an age where you don't have this clarity.
True.
There's an age where love is not love, but you think it is. And how would you, for a young girl watching who's in love with a guy and thinks she has to suffer to a particular point because that's what she would use to justify that she's earned it, how would you advise such a young girl if one was watching?
So like this person, like how old?
She's 24 now.
24? Oh, okay. So that person is like, you know, already matured, because I don't usually like say this, but I got married at 22. So the person that is 24, I feel like, you know, the person is already mature. But I would say that, first off, I also don't like to use this word, but I would say be selfish with yourself. What are the things that you want to achieve? What are the goals that you set for yourself? What are your values? Those things you need to come into your own first. And then sort those things out before, you know, you start looking into trying to, I want to suffer with this person, I want to, you know, ride with this person. What are your own? Because with the other person do the same thing for you as well. So because what happens is that you then put all your aspirations aside for this person, and it's almost like you did this because of them. And then when things don't work out, or you begin to resent them. It's like, oh, I did this because of you. And it's like, who sent you? I didn't even know that you made those sacrifices, right? Or even if the person knew, the person is like, okay, thank you, but you know, you shouldn't have. And I'm sure we've heard of stories where, you know, some women in their older age, you know, they're always shouting, I sacrificed my life for you, my children, I sacrificed. And the children, you know, are not really appreciating it. And you're thinking, okay, how did we get here? So, but the lady, I would say that what are our own aspirations, and she should focus on those. And then men actually even, they respect and honor people that, women that, you know, go after their own and, you know, try to strive and do well in their own field.
That's very interesting. I mean, so when you go outside Nigeria, you know, how is it the same issues these young people have, or is this are there some cultural differences you notice or observe when you go to different countries for this kind of?
Okay, so at the moment, because we've only done the Ghana one and we are currently on Kenya is next month, but I've realized that for the youths, most of the challenges are the same, right? It's it cuts across. The only thing is just that maybe you know, for Nigeria, we are more pushy. The other countries, they are just a little bit laid back. So in the areas of their career, in everything, you know, you're just a bit laid back. But the challenges are still, they still cut across, and, you know, it works.
Yeah. What are the next steps for you, Morenike? And you're having the conference in Kenya, but what are the next big steps for you?
And then with Oak Antique Foundation as well.
Yes. So, I mean, like, at the moment, we have been able to do 10 cohorts now. So that means we have graduated about 100 young ladies, or 100 young ladies have passed through the mentorship program, excluding the community. So we have about 9,000 people in the community that they are not directly in the mentorship program, but then they still get like weekly, bi-weekly messages. But the plan is to, you know, get more people, mentor more people, get them to, you know, to understand exactly what we're doing, and just scale it up bigger. And then for Oak Antique Foundation, because I run an interior design company, what we do at Oak Antique Foundation is that we rehabilitate hospitals and schools, usually government or low-income private schools or hospitals. So we go into these spaces and then we like renovate and all of that.
Amazing.
Yeah, so we've done about 5 projects in total. Thank you. You know that, and then the plan is to do that, expand, across.
Let's take a few comments on social media.
Yes, just because this person is asking again, what mentorship? Can you just state clearly the areas that you mentioned earlier that you mentor young people around?
All right, so in spirituality, because again, at the end of the day, like God is at the center of everything that we do. Finance and investments, career and entrepreneurship, personal development, right? Ministry, charity, and then enjoyment.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's take a few comments. We have to wrap up now. Let's take a few comments on social media.
was talking about the earlier topic.
Yeah, go ahead.
That as we grow older, women tend to focus more on the children and staying with them abroad while leaving the father alone. In fact, children have to take permission from their mother on how much should be sent to their dad. I am from a polygamous home. The fire in it will never make me have 2 wives, except when it's later, when my children are on their own, and I will look for a small wife without social wahala.
Then more comments.
Fire did not really fire.
You can go ahead with the polygamy.
Help me explain it better to them, please. Some people are doing right things in a wrong way. Doesn't make that thing wrong. Referring to the polygamy again. Andrew says, Abraham, now that man wait there for masquerade with that Chief Zebediah, I think he had 2 wives, referring to polygamy. And Afsa says, not always and not a requirement for polygamy to start with adultery. If a man has a need for another wife, of course, he will toast her, and in that case, that is not adultery.
But then there was a part in the Bible that just said that when you look at somebody lustfully, they're already committing adultery. So the fact that if I toast you, I'm already thinking of you as a possibility for somebody I can date. I'm already committing adultery. The fact that I can even look at you, she's fine, she's pretty. I'm looking at.
So we can't he may not be looking at her in a marriage way, non-lustfully, just in the I want to take care of you and put you in my.
You're already committing adultery because your mind is already going. Can you really control what the mind wants? The mind sees a beautiful girl, she can have, she's yellow, she's here.
So if as a woman now I see a man and say, this one fine, have I committed adultery? Because it's fine. I cannot see you.
Well, or you are thinking like, oh, my wife needs
subject
help.
To interpretation.
This lady can take care of my wife.
But it's normal to admire someone of the opposite sex now. That's not adultery.
YK.
That's not even lustful.
Admiration.
You see, one big Ikebe passing, you say,
Exactly.
No, that's not adultery.
Moment.
That's not even
YK.
lust.
Hear me now. The moment you see somebody, admire somebody who's pretty, beautiful, dark-skinned chocolate girl just walked by. You like her because she's just pretty. The moment you start thinking, okay, maybe I can take her as a second wife. Maybe she can be, you're already committed because your mind, your body is already identifying her as a potential. Sorry?
No, they're not going to enter second wife. Just have her.
That's adultery already now.
No, if he's thinking of the family at home, my first wife is struggling. She needs help. We're looking for, after all, Abraham, Sarah, and Haggai. Yeah. What was the story? They wanted a child. It was the first wife that said, okay, go and
Sarah herself that said.
And then Sarah got upset.
Well, it was Sarah that brought her to.
Yeah, and they got upset.
So women now, so when you're getting to YK's age, when you feel that your husband might need help,
why
be the one to go and find. Be the one to go and find.
Why me?
My
are traveling to the UK, I would advise you go and find somebody to help her.
No, let him find
my grandmother.
That's it.
She is going away. Doesn't she need a helper when she's away from him as well?
Because she's going to be grandma. So the children are already helping
grandma and grandchildren, there's a need that one. But there's still the vacuum of my partner.
There was this video the other day, one woman was saying, one man was saying, if you go to the gym, you see all these fine girls. You now says, oh, I'm going to go to the gym.
What did you say?
When you travel, I will go to the gym. I say, this I'll go to the gym.
We have to wrap up. Thank you so much, Veronica. Wishing you all the best in your mentorship program.
Thank you.
And I think I was really inspired by the work you do, and I really like to learn a few things for you.
Thank you.
That's all we can take on today's show. Hope we learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.